What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the DGD Podcast. As always, Robert Reynolds. Got a busy show tonight. Let's start off with the fact that the 2023 football season is now officially over with the Michigan Wolverines beating the Washington Huskies in a barn burner, if you will, of a national championship. Actually, so much so that I think anybody would have fell asleep through it. Shit was boring. Let's be serious. But yeah, no, sure. Congratulations to Connor Stallions. I mean, Michigan Wolverines. But yeah, other than that, though. Slow down, baby. Yeah, Michigan can go kick rocks for all I care. But now we're looking at the 2024 season, right? And obviously, Georgia has had several portal additions that should benefit this 2024 roster, I think, in a very good way. And so we're going to talk about them tonight, each of them and how they fit into with the team, I would assume, my expectations, things like that. First things first, though, we can't start the show off without our sponsor. First sponsor of the night. Y'all know them. Let's be serious here. Apotheos Roastery, located in Kennesaw, Georgia. Best coffee in the business. Can't say otherwise. Change my mind. Go to our website, dgdpodcast.com. Go to the Apotheos through the sponsors tab. And when you use CCC as your code at checkout, free shipping and 20% of everything that you buy goes to the Classic City Collective. So get you some coffee, support them dogs, shop Apotheos, folks. It's the best coffee in the business. Can't even make it up. Now, with that being said, last night, actually, Georgia lands a transfer quarterback in Jayden Maiava from UNLV. And people might not understand the importance of that, but it stems back to early signing day. Right? Obviously, we lose Dylan Raiola. And right, Kirby's talking about it. Georgia's got 3 scholarship quarterbacks right now. Now not, but you get what I mean at that point. Kirby wanted 4, and he even said it. He hinted at 4 scholarship quarterbacks. Well, now you have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. If you don't know much about him, he was the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year last year. 6'4", I think 220. More Polynesian, folks. Keep that in mind. I think that's important to know. I think that's very important to know. But I think the key for me with Jayden himself, he's very mobile. However, he can still pass the ball. Very good passer, I thought, too. I want to preface this by saying I think you're better off getting Jayden than had you stuck with Dylan. I know it might sound crazy, but let me explain. You have an unproven quarterback at the next level if Dylan Raiola were to stay with us in the 2024 class. You go to the portal and you grab a Mountain West, albeit you can say what you want about the Mountain West, but the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year, he's got experience under his belt. He's got more than Gunnar Stockton right now. And that's as a freshman. So take it for what it's worth. He's going to come in. He's not going to be the starter. He won't. Don't expect him to be. We got Carson Beck. No reason for me to believe he pushes for playing time unless something happens, which we obviously don't want to see. Just going to leave that there. Now, with that being said, I do think you could very well see him push for the backup. It's a long-term play. And I'm all on board for it. I'm all on board for this. I think, first off, you needed that 4th scholarship quarterback. And now you've got some experience. You've got some experience now behind Carson Beck. Hell, if you really look at it, he had more snaps than both Brock and Gunnar combined in their careers. So you've got experience now. And I think he fits our system. I think he would fit our system very well. I'm not going to compare him to Stetson Bennett or anything. I think for what it's worth, he is definitely mobile enough to be a problem. I don't think it's never a smart thing to compare anyone to Stetson at this point. So I'm not going to do that. But I do think there is some development there that he can learn and develop in the system. Playing against a good defense in practice will help that. It should help that. So I'm excited to see that. And I also think that it kind of caught a lot of people off guard to some degree because how fast things materialized. When you take a look into the context of, you had positions that people were obviously waiting for, D-line, receiver, all this stuff. For Georgia to go out and grab a quarterback, as fast as things happened and transpired, a lot of people may have been questioning it, but I think it was necessary. Like I said, 4 scholarship quarterbacks, it might sound ecstatic, or it might sound not ecstatic, might sound excessive, but it's not. It's not. Especially when you have to manage your roster at all times, right? You come in and you bring a guy that can easily come in here and play if need be. Who knows? He might be the backup. You never know. I mean, Gunner, for what it's worth, I thought looked good in the bowl game. But this guy has multiple times more reps and experience. Now, albeit Gunner's competition is also SEC competition. Take it for what it's worth. But still, 500 and some snaps to 55. You do the math. I'll take that for what it's worth. Let us know in the comments, by the way, what your grade for this transfer portal pickup would be. By the way, I think my grade, probably a B+. I think it would be a good solid B+. Just looking at the situation, you've got some experience now. Good quarterback. If you go watch some of his tape, I mean, his game against Nevada, I thought was very well. Played a very good game that game. There's obviously more than that, but that game stood out to me. It was just one of those things, and it was a rivalry for what it's worth too. So, for him to play like he did, I thought he played very well in that game. But again, you played enough to win a conference freshman of the year. Take it for what it's worth, but you got to be impressive to some degree. So I'm gonna give it a B+. Listen, you didn't go out there. You don't expect Georgia to go get Will Howard or something like that when you've got Carson Beck. You just don't see that. But for what it's worth, to get him in here, right, more likely as the backup, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. We move on to Trevor Etienne. Trevor Etienne, listen, what can I say about this? Very good pickup. Extremely good pickup. Guys, we've seen what he can do at Florida, right? He was the offense. He was the offense. And now you've got him. And at that being said, you pluck him from your rival, your biggest rival. One of their best players on offense, probably the best player on offense, and you pluck him away. You love it. You just love to see the Gator tears. You just love it. Absolutely love it. Now, I will say there was a need for running back too, right? I think you look at both Kendall and Dejon, right, being gone. You add that into the fact that Branson Robinson's injury was pretty bad. Pretty bad, like really bad. It forces him to not be able to sit there and push for that. So when you don't have to force him back with Etienne, and you've got the dynamic playmaking ability too. So with that being said, I do think that pickup play, right, is just a beautiful thing. Just going to leave that there. Listen, he can run the ball. He can pass catch. I do think, however, he's got to work on pass protection, right? Pass blocking. I think if he gets that down, which Georgia's going to force him to do that, by the way. Oh, he's going to be just fine. And there's the multi-dimensional aspect of the offense just becomes even more dangerous next year in 2024. So, with that being said, I do think this probably I'm going to say an A+. One of the best running backs out of the portal, bar none. Bar none. Parker Curry, what is going on? Welcome into the brigade. But yeah, I'm giving the Etienne pickup an A+. It's the best pickup you can get. Again, you don't really see Quinshon Judkins, right? Might be the A+ too, but I think the thing with Quinshon, to me, buddy had 500 and some carries in 2 years. It's a ton of run. That's a ton of run. So you're getting a guy that I think is going to be a game changer for us, and it won't surprise me when you've got that situation where him doing the Gator chomp in Jacksonville next year. I'm gonna love it in red and black. When he's doing it in red and black, I'm gonna love it. Absolutely love it. Like I said, A+ for Etienne. George picked up two wide receivers in the portal this season. We'll start off first. Colbie Young. All right. Colbie Young, if you're not familiar, that man is a massive individual. 6'5", 225, I think it was. Immediately strikes me as someone that will go up and get contested catches. And that's something that George has been needing severely, if you will. Needed that type of body, and you got him. Might not be the fastest guy. Don't expect him to be at 6'5", right? But if you have the ability to take a screen to the house, then there you go. There you go. That's all you need to know. I'm ecstatic about that. Let me retract a little bit. I'm very excited about that. I might not be ecstatic. I like the kid at Christmas, but I do think that's something that we need. We don't have that on our roster, period. We just don't, right? Coming from Miami, right? Listen, I think that's a good pickup. I think that's a sneaky pickup too, by the way. So I'm going to give this a B. I'm going to give it a B. Again, he's not a burner. You don't expect him to be. You've already got enough speed in the receiving room as it stands. But the body size, you can't teach that. You can't. So I leave it there. Moving on to the other receiver. Hit him with that Micheal Jackson. Hit that moonwalk on him, shall I say. It's going to be interesting to watch how he's used, right? He's used. I think he's a slot guy, in my opinion. His separation is really what sticks out to me. It sticks out a lot to me. Playing at USC with Caleb Williams, you had a situation where he was just utilized over and over, or not as much. Actually, excuse me, not nearly as much as we welcome in Keon to the building. Keon, what is going on, my man?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. We're sitting here talking about the portal pickups. I'll backtrack since you popped in. I talked about Jayden Maiava first. Initially, what are your thoughts on Jayden, and how would you grade that addition?
I think it's a wonderful addition. I would give it a solid A. To adding more of a competition amongst the quarterback room. I think he was a talented guy. I mean, if you've seen any of his tape over there at UNLV playing in the go-go offense, he was really slicing and dicing over there. Plus, he has I think like 4 years eligibility left. So yeah, definitely excited about him. There's a couple of more. There's a handful more of the transfer portal guys that we didn't picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, no, I think I know that's the most recent portal edition. But long term, I think it could come down to being one of the bigger portal additions, by the way.
Oh, 100%. Adding more competition amongst that room. Plus, we all know that Kirby wants to have 4 quarterbacks on scholarship there. So I think that's great for us moving forward. But overall, really excited about it. Happy to have him. Welcome
Yeah.
aboard.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. We talked about Trevor Etienne. I know we talked about this when he first committed. I absolutely love that pickup. And I think it's even better than Quinshawn Junkins. Obviously, Etienne's been committed. Quinshawn, entered the portal, committed to Ohio State last night, actually. Ironically, while Michigan was winning the title. But I thought it was a better pickup for what it's worth, even in hindsight now, because in 2 years, Quinshawn's had over 500 carries. That's a ton of run in today's football. And I think the longevity aspect is going to bode well for us. That's just my opinion. But what do you think?
I think it is going to bode well for us moving forward. Honestly, man, I think I'm really high on all of the guys that we got out of the portal. Some significant ballers that we got out of there. Whether if you want to talk about Etienne, you want to talk about Colbie. You also have Micheal Jackson III. Shout outs to him coming from USC as well. And Jayden Maiava, right?
Jayden Maiava, yep.
Jayden Maiava.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watched a couple of those games over there at UNLV, so to get to see him truly orchestrate the go-go offense, and for Georgia fans that are listening that are wondering, why should we be excited about the go-go offense? Brennan Marion really set the pace over there, and with this guy, he's been able to really take over and ball out. Plus, he has 4 years? Is it 4 years or 3 years left of eligibility?
I think it's 3, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's 3.
So you still have him for a while there, and he can add to more competition with Gunnar Stockton. We want to make sure that iron is sharpening iron over here, and I think that's the really important thing.
Yeah, no, I mean you're not wrong at all. You brought up Micheal Jackson. I was actually talking about him. As being I think you kind of look at him as almost filling in where Ladd McConkey was last year.
Yeah.
Out of the slot, I think you look at a guy that can easily create separation. Go back and watch some of his tapes and watch his route running. His footwork forces it puts guys in binds and creates separation. And in the SEC at that level, because you think about it, 2024 is going to be a match like you're going to play some good secondaries. So creating that separation, he did it at USC. You might question the Pac-12. I don't care. The fact that you see the ability to do that leads me to believe that can translate over into the SEC, and it's going to have to. It's going to have to.
Well, I'll tell you this, if you've even taken the time to watch some of his film over there from USC, that first step that he got is some shit. Like he certified ankle collector,
He puts his foot in the ground very quickly, and it puts, like I said, it puts DBs in a bond. I'm not going to compare him 100% to Ladd McConkey, but again, if you watch how he creates separation, he presses and then hits you with the move, and then it's over. You know what I mean? He forces the hip turn and then gets your ass. That's a lot of that I've seen. I've seen that a lot. So you know what though? I might make the early call here. I think you're going to see several whip routes in the red zone that could easily come to this man, in my opinion. We'll see. Georgia does like to run the ball in the red zone, but
yeah,
you know what though? I do think, and I look back to A.D. Mitchell against Auburn, that whip route.
Man.
Thing of beauty.
Also, congratulations to A.D. Mitchell for declaring for the draft. DGD for life. We appreciate you over here. We love you over here. Best of luck to you and your family moving forward. And yet again, always and forever, go Dogs. And, you're a champion.
Yeah, 2 times.
2 times.
No, you got, man, 80 calls.
2 rings.
Yes, sir. AD caught a lot of shit leaving, right? Especially with how fast he went to Texas itself. While that could be the case, you sit there, when you're dealing with a young child, and if you go and look at his post and his letter that he wrote to Texas and Georgia, should I say, he talks about something that's beyond football, right? The time and all the energy that goes into being a student athlete, it forced him to sacrifice things.
Yeah.
So when he got hurt, and he mentioned this, when he got hurt, it really opened his eyes up to what he was missing, right? And that's being able to be there and make those memories with his child. So in hindsight, right, I don't see any way that any Georgia fan should or could be mad when you look at it that way, right? There were talks that it was about his daughter too, because he did that in his commitment video. But people, there was still a part of the fan base and fans that didn't want to believe it. And,
People got to understand. Like, I mean, I don't blame him at all under any circumstance. Like, we got to also understand this is a father that we are speaking about. I don't have kids.
Baby
I
girl,
don't.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have kids. I know you do, but like, if I was in that situation, I would make the same decision, no question.
Well, I mean, if you've got the opportunity, for me, if obviously you've won 2 titles, right?
Right.
Obviously, you want to win as much as possible. However, sometimes it's more than football.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
Especially with a newborn. Like,
100%.
If I have the opportunity to go play at an elite level while being close to home, and my daughter can come watch my games, and I have to travel halfway across the country, and while I can go lay down at night and they can move them a couple hours and not, all the way across the country.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at that, man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just can't. Once you bring kids into it, it's a whole. You have to look at it completely different. You just 100%. Have to. Like, it stung because I think Georgia needed AD Mitchell this year.
Fam, I'm sorry. If we have AD Mitchell, we three-peat. I'm sorry.
No
one
doubt.
Can convince me. No one can convince me otherwise. I was sitting up there watching us play against Bama, and I was just like, damn. I wonder what AD's doing right now.
I mean, again, though, while it stings for Georgia, right, that he left so suddenly, it goes to commits to Texas almost instantly. I'm not mad. Can't be mad. You can be mad. I'm not mad though.
No, I just think it would be the wrong decision to be mad, man.
Well,
like,
again,
honestly.
I mean, again, right? Like, as a college, you're dealing with school and you're dealing with that, right?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
When you're a pro, you got time. Like, you have more, at least for what it's worth, more time. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna, that's just my thoughts too. Like, you go pro, your life is football, right? You don't have to worry about school. People have got time. You can bring your kids to practice, and it's not looked up. It is what it is. There you go. Right? Just leave it at that. But best wishes to you in your career, man, AD, for sure.
No, seriously, best of wishes to you and your family, man. We love you. We appreciate you over here, and we appreciate everything you've done to help us as a program as we continue to move forward, man. DGD for life.
Oh, facts. Keon, shall we talk about London Humphreys?
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
Grabbing 3 receivers might sound like it's a crazy proposition.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the 2024 recruiting class, you pick up Nitro and you pick up Colbie. There's only 2. There's only 2. And you're replacing Ladd and you're replacing Marcus. You've got some bodies to fill, right? And you got to replace Brock Bowers too. Let's be serious here. That's a receiver. Just closer to the line. Just closer to the line.
Yeah.
But you bring in London Humphreys, and he's 6'3", and he's probably close to maybe 200, 190, 200. But his speed is what separates, I think. Like I said, we talked about this earlier, right, in an earlier episode. He was the one that cooked you for the first touchdown to open up the scoring against Vanderbilt. Right? Vanderbilt was 50-some yard slant route, took it to the house from there.
House call.
And it looked like he was just pulling away. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. So a legit 4.4 speed, right? And a 6.3 frame. There's your combination. I think that could be a deep threat waiting to happen. That's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts overall? Also can create separation too, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things. It's not just the fact that he can create separation for me, it's the fact that he has the size as well. So, he's more favorable when it comes to those situations of a 50-50 ball. Because your average corner, bro, honestly, a tall corner, you're looking at maybe 6'2" max. Like these guys aren't like, they're not like 6'5", you know what I'm saying? So, when you have somebody with that size and that can make moves, run crisp routes as well and help make people miss, I think that's going to help us offensively. And honestly, might push us forward in the right direction when it comes to helping replace that lad role.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Georgia attacks it. We might talk about that in a little bit. I think I'm going to grade. We forgot to grade Micheal Jackson, and we're going to do Humphreys here too. I'm going back on the Micheal Jackson III pickup. I'm gonna grade that a solid B. I think that's a solid B. What would you grade yours? What would you grade that pickup?
I would give him a solid B plus. I think his ability to lose people just off of the first step, and I think his burst is one of the things that really stick out to me in this game. Because even if you go back and watch his tape, you notice that by the time that ball gets thrown, there's always that separation there between him and the corner. So he always has that advantage. You rarely see him, if you ever see him, in a situation where a corner is right there hip to hip with him.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key for bigger SEC play. Like, cause you're going to think about this. You're going to Tuscaloosa. You're going to DKR. You're going to Ole Miss. Ole Miss loaded the fuck up as well. They did. You can say what you want on defense. They loaded up. They loaded up.
100%.
But yeah, I think you look at that right there. It's not, like I said, mine's a solid B. You said B plus there. For London Humphreys, I'm going A minus. I think he's got the game changing speed, blend of size and speed. That's going to make him dangerous. I think I need to see how this rotate, and I want to talk about this rotation later. We'll in a little bit. But I think you've got to find a way to get that man the ball next year easily.
100%.
Have to.
100%.
What would your grade be on your for London Humphreys?
For London, I give him an A minus. I think yet again, kind of what you said, the combination of size and speed. One thing I do want to see is his catch radius expand. But I do think that's just naturally going to happen when it comes to us having Carson Beck. I think he's going to put him in the great situations.
He ain't going to play with Sills or AJ Swan for damn sure.
Right. So I do want to see that out of him. I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field as well. True difference makers right there. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's going to help propel our offense as well.
I'm right there with you. Moving to the other side of the ball, Keon.
Wait, before we get to that, I do want to tell the fans as well. To all Georgia fans that's listening to this, and even if you aren't, understand right here, right now, Georgia easily, we have the best quarterback, not only in the conference, but statistically, right? If you're just going off of the passing yards, we have the best quarterback in the country coming back here. Carson Beck was just third in the country overall?
I think so.
But regardless, you have the best quarterback in the conference coming back. That's going to help set you in a better position than what you've already been in. Plus, you're getting more dynamic wide receivers, bigger body wide receivers, shiftier wide receivers, and overall faster wide receivers coming in that you're adding to your roster as well.
I still need to see us utilize that speed, though. Let's be serious.
No,
I need us to see that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those years. Mike Bobo, we're giving you everything you need and then some. There's no reason. But even last year, the, I'll say this: our defense was not the reason why or our offense was not the reason that we did not end up in
Playing
the
in the
Natty.
playoffs. Yeah, no, I'm with
Yeah,
you. I'm with you there. You know, I think we're about to talk about what arguably could have been our downfall, and
yeah.
that's the defensive line, and by that, Xzavier Mccleod, South Carolina transfer,
Hmm.
comes in after his freshman year. I think they tried to redshirt him, or he wanted to redshirt, and they would not do that. Is what I've heard. Don't really know that. It sounds like there was a fallout there between them. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's impressive to find a kid that's actually willing to take a red shirt to learn and develop. At being as talented as he is, I think kid was like top 100, top 150 in the country coming out of high school, and you don't really see that a lot, and that's impressive to me. JOGG, welcome in, and Utah's trash.
No, I love me a self-aware player. He taking that opportunity for himself to say that, hey guys, you know what? I'm not where I want to be yet, and I want to utilize my time here, whether that be at South Carolina when he was there or just even now. Like he wants to utilize his time and actually put himself in a better position moving forward. He wants to fully develop and he wants to see himself truly hit his full potential. I have no argument, no strife, no nothing against a player like that because at least you can look at yourself and say, "Hey, look, there's a level of accountability that comes with that I truly appreciate because that takes a person let alone a player, to truly be honest about where they are and where they're at, and be honest about their talent and what their potential could be."
I think another thing too is this: you have the senior guys leaving, right? Add that to the fact that we had struggles in the defensive line.
100%.
You, it's just one of our biggest pieces and our biggest needs. One of our biggest needs, I thought, was probably the biggest need was defensive line. Now, at the same time, keep in mind this is only the first wave of portal entry, first window. There's also a second window, so I'm not giving up hope because if the right guy is in there, Kirby will go for them. Kirby's not going to settle for that. And that's how Kirby's worked in the portal since he's been here and since the portal's been a thing. Georgia is not just going to go settle for a depth piece. They're not. If you're in the portal, you're here to make a difference. And I think his track record has shown. Going back all the way to Lawrence Cager and, Trey McKitty and just names like that come in and they make an instant impact.
Shout outs to Lawrence Cager, New York Giant. Love you, buddy.
Look at that. I mean, y'all also got some Giants, but where y'all? Speaking of, I want to ask. I'm going to do this. I want to do this. We talked about it. Let's grade it first. Let's grade it first, and then going back to the Giants. I'm grading this pickup as an A minus. The only reason being is, listen, it's a huge need, and I think he's one of the arguably coming out of high school was one of the best players. Still very raw, right? So you're basically going to develop him. Trey Scott's got to develop him, and we know how Trey Scott's track record is. I think Trey Scott is going to handle him fine. I think he needed that kind of culture. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
How would you grade it?
Yeah, I would say an A minus as well. I do think, honestly, you're overall in a better position, better place, better space, better coaching staff, better team. Really, everything's better over here than where it was, where you were at. So, especially when it comes to our one-on-one development with, Trey Scott as well. Self-aware player, man. Yet again, I can't speak highly enough about that. I really do love that out of him. I honestly do. I can't wait to see him get on the field. But overall, for his grade, I got him at an A minus.
Okay. Now, you talked about your Giants, right? Now that the bottom half is set for the NFL draft, right? We're going to foreshadow this, okay, guys? So, listen, just because the national title was played last night, listen, this show never stops, folks. There's no such thing as an off season. There's never such thing. So let's do this. We're prefacing this way too early. Hey, where's the Giants drafting? What position do y'all have right now, barring no trades?
We're picked number 6.
Why do I feel like y'all could pick up Brock Bowers?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this. With my current situation with my Giants, I would love that, but I would also be upset. And the only reason why I'd be upset is because if we draft Brock Bowers at 6, that means that I gotta watch Daniel Jones completely miss this guy when he's running wide open down the field. And it's not to say that I don't want Brock Bowers. I need a quarterback on my team worse than a fish need water. Okay. It is that awful. Like,
where do you think Brock Bowers goes?
he's going back to Cali. He's going to the Chargers. He's going to go to the Chargers.
Him and Herbert would be a good combo, I think.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Now, if we do draft Brock Bowers, I'm going to lose my mind, and I'm going to say that this is the best tight end that the NFL's ever seen since Tony Gonzalez. But
I've prepared for that.
Yeah, no. This is the next Rob Gronkowski. Like, I got it all written down, I promise.
Oh boy. Yeah, but no, I just wanted to preface that, guys. Listen, we're going to be talking about the draft. Trust me. We did it last year. We'll do it this year too. Just going to leave it.
I also want to say this. If Brock Bowers could get drafted to anybody in my division, I'd rather it be me than anyone else. I don't want to see this man on the Eagles.
Cowboys going to trade all the way up.
Cowboys would not do that.
I know. I figured it would be more.
I'm not going to lie to you. If the Cowboys drafted him, he might join us on this show one of these days. I'm not going to lie. All of these guys damn near live in my area anyway.
That'd be wild.
No, Dak Prescott right up the street.
Living in his little house.
Man, this shit is not little. This shit is huge.
Oh,
just like Donald Trump say, huge.
Huge. Just massive.
Just you can't even believe it. You won't even fathom. Huge.
Just great big old house. Oh boy, don't bring that name into conversation. You might piss some people off.
All right.
Oh boy, but no. Let's do this. We've graded the portal additions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, bring you our next sponsor, Alumni Hall, folks. Guys, licensed Nike, Cutter and Buck, Peter Millar, 47, Yeti, Tervis, you name it, they've got it. If it's anything you need for tailgates, for work, just out and about, right? For your car, your home, your office, your dogs, they've got it.
Go Dogs.
Do yourself a favor. Go to DGDpodcast.com. Go to Alumni Hall. Support the show by using that link. Or if you're in store, only in store, mention the show and you'll get 10% off your order.
There you go.
Do yourself a favor there. It's in Athens, GA, about 10 minutes away from Sanford Stadium. So you need to check it out before your game day. Or if you're just in Athens, if you're in school, stop by. Just go. I wouldn't say walk because that's probably a decent sized walk. But you could. I know how hilly it is up there, so you gotta be careful with that. But not go there, check them out, let them know the DG Podcast sent you, get you some nice stuff. And also, how about them dogs? What is that? Oh yeah. Hold on. You didn't. If you can't read the shirt, this is what it says. There you go. Shop Alumni Hall, folks. You'll do yourself a service. You won't be disappointed. I'll leave it there. Keon, Now, we talked about these portal additions.
Yep.
Now we look to 2024, right? 2023 is past now. It is
Mhm.
over. All eyes are on 2024, and Clemson is on the clock. Clemson, you are on the clock. It's time. You got 9 months before that ass comes to collect. But we've got Jayden, we've got London, you've got Colbie and Micheal, and you've got Xzavier. Let's break this down. Who do you think out of the group of portal additions are going to how do you think they're going to fit into the system um, in regards to the team? Where do you see the fits, and do you see who do you see making the instant impact?
Colbie,
You think Colbie makes the instant impact?
100%.
Why do I feel like you could
You want to know why I think he makes an instant impact?
the size that we don't have?
Well, not just that, the size, the physicality when it comes to run support. He really, I'm not gonna lie, Colbie Young really puts himself in a position for him to not be taken off the field. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, you know, I'm not disappointed with that. I just get this feeling because you've got Dom and you've got Ra Ra, right? You've got Anthony Evans, which I think should be able to take another step up. There's still a ton of bodies, right? You're going to see a rotation, and I've said this before. I just think that we got to slow down the rotation, and you're never going to get an elite 5-star guy.
Fam, I agree. I do. But I'm just when I look at Colbie, I'm talking about more of like those the different run packages that we have. I mean, the kid is a mauler.
Well, I think another thing too is like he has the ability. We've seen this at Miami. He has the ability to take a screen and get the yak yards and for touchdowns at that. Um, Colby's not my answer. Obviously, I think the easy choice is probably going to be Trevor Etienne.
Oh
Uh,
wait, you said Trevor Etienne? I didn't know that was an option.
I said out of the portal additions.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't know that was going to be an option. Yeah, the easiest one would be Trevor. Trevor, I'm not gonna lie, we should have the best running back in the conference moving forward.
Yeah, I can see the argument. I'm sure there's going to be some arguments there. Things haven't settled yet either, man. Like it's just all way too early predictions and stuff we're talking. But I do think you have a very good case because what he was Florida's offense, and now you give him a substantially better offensive line to run behind. In theory, that should bode well for him, and you're actually being able to rotate in more and preserve yourself. So that's just what I'm looking at it, if that makes sense. Um, I'm not going to say ETN more so than I will say I think when all is said and done, Micheal Jackson could be the surprise pick for here. I think you look at the guys in the portal. London Humphreys has tremendous upside. But I think in clutch moments, Micheal Jackson could have it. And listen, if you're going to clip it, go ahead and clip it. I don't care. I just see that in big game moment, I just have this feeling right now. Again, way too early, but it is what it is. I just have this feeling that his separation is going to get us a touchdown. I just get this feeling in a big moment, clutch moment. We talk about body size with Colbie. But I think the separation is almost just as good as having the body size to go up and catch 50-50 balls because you don't need to catch a 50-50 ball. Just catch the damn ball when you got that separation. That's just my thoughts. I think he can have an instant impact if his route running gets better. I think BMAC's got some work to do just to make sure that he gets on the field. From a development standpoint, I think he's fine. I just want to see him get some run. Again, it's hard, really, Keon, to really say that any of the receivers are going to make an instant impact because there's just so damn many. There's so many. So you could easily.
That's kind of why I want to go with Etienne. I mean, Etienne is about to have, like, bro, and then you got to think Etienne also has that home run speed as well, where he can really punch that in from himself. So he's about to have lanes looking like a 18-wheeler parallel park. So, once he can just hit the hole and attack it and run up field, I mean, I think it's going to really bode well for
So I
us.
got some breaking news here. Non-Georgia related, but I think it'd be interesting to see how this does. Marshall transferred to defensive lineman Elijah Alston. Decommitted from Texas A&M. He had committed to A&M, and now he's decommitted. So that opens him back up to transfer somewhere else. Could Georgia be making a push? I think so.
Like it.
I think so.
And you said this is a defensive lineman?
Yeah, in his career, he has 107 tackles, 19 and a half tackles for losses, and 9.5 sacks in his career to this point. That's production. I don't care if it's at Marshall. That's production.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe Georgia does come calling. Who knows? Who knows? But I think that it might not materialize, but I think it's worth looking into if you're Georgia because you need D-line help, right? That's just my thoughts.
100%, especially when it comes to getting them ready. I think that's going to be very important for us moving forward, especially with Marshall. Man, our rotations is going to be crazy on this defensive line, bro. I hope you
see. My thing is that we know that we need help at defensive line, but I don't want to sit there and just take somebody that's not going to get the usage, make that impact. I think he can make an impact. I just question if it's how serious that is.
No, I definitely agree with you. We just got to stay tuned to see how this plays out. Outside of defensive line, is there anybody else that you're looking at in the portal? Like,
I don't really know. See, my thing is this: out of the first wave, I mean, I'm fine with where we are because what's going to happen, and hint here, after the spring games, people are going to find out where they stand and where they are, and people are going to move. That's why the second window is just as important because now you've got people that have ideas, right, where they are. And there's some good players that are going to hit the portal because you know what I mean? So the second window might honestly be just as crazy as this window, in my opinion. So I think I'm fine where it is right now. Second window, I'll definitely be monitoring that because while those guys are slightly behind in a sense, right? Because you got to come in and you only have summer practices, and that's when you start. There could be an instant impact type of guy there, and we just don't know it yet. You know what I mean? That's just my thought. I mean, we're looking at D-line, and we just brought up Alston, but we don't know if that's something that we wait and see if somebody gets hit in the portal, right? Gets pushed into the portal. It could be the huge fish, if you will, like Etienne type fill for a D-line. Could happen. Not saying it will. Could. And if that happens, I mean, I'm not. He's not in the portal, but give me a Deion Walker hit the portal for some reason, right? Give me that.
Deion Walker hit the portal. We got to go grab him. We got.
That's a must-have if that's the case. That's just my thoughts. Also, 2025 recruiting here. Just news keeps popping up over and over. Elijah Griffin has set visits to Georgia and Clemson. Number 3 overall prospect in the On3 rankings. Listen, you heard it here first. That boy gonna be a dog. Yeah. I just something drastic's got to happen for him not to not be a dog.
to not come here.
That's just my thought.
Like some shit has to go horribly wrong. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Things have to go horribly wrong.
JLG asks where Swolders these days. No Juan's just plain old, but why Colbie? You need to get on to him. And these holidays put some put some stress on people. Maybe that's the case. JOG, do some investigative work. That's what you're good for. Harry Leggy, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, this Tuesday kind of caught some people off guard. Again, we didn't run a show last night for those listening. So you're catching this show tonight rather than last night because of the national title game. Just didn't want to interfere with that. So we'll be doing next week. Starting next week, we'll be back on our Monday, Wednesday, but we'll run a show tomorrow too. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so I think from the portal, I would like to think Xzavier Mccleod gets some run into the rotation. That's just my thoughts. Keon, what about you?
I'm sorry, say it one more time. I had to.
No, I was talking about Xzavier Mccleod. I think he has the potential to come in and make an impact. I am keeping tabs on it because he did want to be developed, right? He wanted to take that red shirt, what it sounded like. I don't necessarily know he takes the red shirt this year, but I just think that he's going to get substantially more development, in my opinion.
100%. I agree with you. I'm just excited to see how Trey Scott handles that.
I think it'll be good. I mean, you've got Jamal Jarrett, you've got TID, Krista Miller. There's some big names. Now you can throw Xzavier Mccleod in there. I mean, and if you've got that right there, because then you've got Micheal and Pimba and all those guys on the edge, if you will. Yeah, that's just my thoughts on the whole situation there. But I think he can get some run. I still think you see him rotate in. What that 1 year in South Carolina looks like compared to what it's going to look like at Georgia, I think it's going to be substantial. You see what I mean? That's just me. Just me.
He's about to take a huge jump, so I'm excited to see it. That's just honestly how I'm looking at it at this point.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he has I think you're going to see with how the situation worked for us. I just think that you've got to get guys that are going to, we like the rotation, get get Stackhouse and get some, get less snaps because I think they do perform better, like Stack and Brinson. They perform better with less snaps, and listen, to some degree that's fine, but at the same time you didn't. We saw what we saw this year. Moving forward, you've got to find guys that can make an impact, period. And I think Krista Miller, Percy's primed, right? Prime Percy this year. Let's make this happen. TID. I think TID staying healthy is your main goal, but if you stay healthy, I think results will follow. And Big Ja.
Big Ja?
Big Ja. Yeah.
He gonna get on the field, man. It's gonna be crazy for him. I'm excited for him.
I mean, I fully expect him.
Plus,
to handle.
he losing a lot of weight quick.
Well, he's into the 340s. You see it, like body transformation's obvious.
Yeah.
Speed, I think he's gotten faster too. Looks more fluid running. It's going to benefit. I still think, the offseason is going to help him tremendously. I think getting stronger is going to be the key there too. I think you do kind of look at him as kind of filling that Jordan Davis role where you eat bodies and that's by design, right? I mean, Jordan Davis paved the way to get a first-round draft pick by eating up space.
Yeah.
If you're elite at eating up space, you're going to play on Sundays. You know what I mean? It also helps that Jordan Davis was an absolute freak. But, I mean, 13th overall. Or that's not – yeah, that's right. 13th overall, I think, to the Eagles. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, mid-first round, that's a damn good spot for Jordan Davis. So, the writing's there. Somebody, listen, with how this game is, eating up space is crucial in today's NFL, in my opinion. I mean, you watch NFL all the time, so I'm sure you probably understand that.
Yeah, final game of the season, our center definitely took him out that space. Yep.
So, but yeah, no, I think with what we've got on the D line, obviously there's so much room for improvement. I think we got beat in the run, like in the run part of this, and I really want to see us put the emphasis on that. Bringing in Jamal, right, in early downs, barring making sure he doesn't get hurt and all that stuff. If he can go in there and eat the space, and I'd love to see him reset the line, but if he's eating up double teams and not getting reset, I think that balances it out and then a little bit more. But I think you need the bodies to allow the linebackers to flow. If that happens, you start to look like 2021. And the crazy thing is, Keon, 2021, we saw what happens when you got Jalen Carter and Jamal and Jordan Davis with Channing and Quay and Nakobe flowing in. Look at the freaks you've got at the linebacker room right now. Allow think about this. Allow them to flow free.
Man.
Because CJ Allen looked like he took a huge step his freshman year. I felt like he was getting very comfortable with the defense, and you saw him start to play faster as a result.
Yeah,
and that is not what anybody wants to see. If you're not a Georgia fan, that is not what you want to see.
Yeah, I want to see Raylan Wilson get a little bit more comfortable as well. But even then, I felt like as the season went on, and he got more and more playing time, I think he got more comfortable. But yeah, man, if we could really wreak havoc up front, those linebackers, especially guys like CJ and Raylan, they are gonna go stupid.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, just the intangibles, man, is just that's just my thoughts. The intangibles and the physical measurables are just hard to. You just can't find that, man. Like Georgia, I mean, we talked about this earlier too, when early signing day. Hell, you got Justin Williams and Chris Cole now too. I mean, it's nuts. You still got Chris Jones as well, but I think you look at those two and it's like those guys feel like Quay Walkers. I think Justin Williams is a thin Quay Walker. Chris Cole probably the same too. I think as they get bigger into the system, right, more at Georgia, they'll bulk up a little bit. But if they maintain the athleticism, shit's nuts.
Dude. Dude.
So, because I saw him at the All-American. I mean, you saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I feel comfortable with the linebacker room. Like allowing these guys to flow is going to make such a difference, because what I saw from Justin Williams, his ability to close to get the sack was nuts. It was
second to none, bro.
Well, he closed in a hurry. But that's what you want. And that's why the D line is so important. So I think the biggest need, there you go. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, I'm excited for all these guys, to be honest. I think they're all going to come in and do work. You just hope you get to see these guys make plays. I mean, listen, we saw Dom and Rara come in, and I felt like there was some left to be desired out of those two.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now you've got Dom and Rara in the system for a year. And you have no Lab McConkey to be a security blanket. Now it's on those guys. You don't have who's going to come in and be those sure-handed catches. Who's going to be those certain catches? Because Marcus Rosemy was that. Who's going to be the X factor in the receiving core? And not Brock Bowers. Lab McConkey was that.
Yeah, so now you're putting these guys in situations where it's like, look, y'all want to fight for playing time? Y'all got to get out here and earn it every single play.
But also these portal additions, keep in mind this, bring some new facets to the offense that Georgia just didn't have last year in 23. You look at Etienne, his ability to catch out of the backfield is better than Dejon. And not saying that Kendall or Dejon couldn't do it, but I think he's more dynamic out of the backfield. He's also got the home run speed that none of our running backs had.
Now, I will tell you this. Speaking of catching out the backfield,
Dwight Phillips, baby.
Not even just Dwight Phillips. Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier went crazy in the Army Bowl, man.
That he did. That he did.
I was like, okay, there we go. And touchdown. There we go, Zamir White. There we go, James Cook. I'm seeing it. The flashbacks is there.
Hit him
I'm
with that
seeing
bow.
it.
Hit him with the
Now,
RBU bow.
the White I'm gonna tell you this. We something Carson hit the White on a damn screen pass and get past the line of scrimmage. That's a house call. That
You,
motherfucker fast, boy.
you know,
Oh
you know,
my
you know
god.
Dwight. You know Dwight, don't you?
Dwight who?
Dwight around
Dwight
your
around
lips.
your lip. uh, but no, seriously, it's about to get crazy. Y'all, to everybody that's listening to this, you thought that our offense was dangerous before.
You got year 2 Carson Beck too, man. Think about that.
That's another thing too. That's the best part.
Well, you know what though? I'm sitting here thinking about this. Overall, let's look at the offense for just a second. So you'll have Carson Beck, and I think for what it's worth, I think Maiava becomes a backup. Think about that. I think it's possible. I definitely think that's possible. Then you got Etienne. I think Etienne's your starter, and then you rotate him in with say what, Roderick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be Branson if he's healthy. If not, then it's Roderick. Listen, that's a combo right there. Because Etienne will bully you, and then you put
Yeah.
Roderick, which we saw Roderick against Florida State's reserves. Sorry, this just is what it is. He was making those guys look silly.
Yeah. Roderick is he's just a bulldozer rolling downhill real fast. It's honestly just best to get the hell out the way. I don't know how to do it, but
I mean, I saw that man stiff arm the shit out of people there in the Orange Bowl.
right.
So future's looking bright for him, in my opinion, too. Andrew Paul,
Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it.
DF Dub product, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I think with adding Etienne on top of the running back class that we have coming in here, I think it's going to give guys like Andrew Paul an opportunity to truly, get in the mix.
You know, he's going to have to. He's going to have to step up because I think you
No,
look at a
like
situation. I think there's going to be a situation because you've got 5, right? And Branson comes back, that's 6, right? So you might see a situation where somebody redshirts. I'm okay with this. But I mean, again, you've got, and we've talked about all 3 of these guys. I think you're going to see Dwight Phillips get some playing time. I think you've got to design some plays for him, and you might honestly see him slide out at the receiver at one point in time. Or what I mean by that is put him in the running back and then motion him out and out of the slot or at a receiver position and let him cook and put a linebacker on his ass out in space like that. That'll be dangerous, folks. That'll be dangerous. He opens up a different part of the passing game out of the backfield, him and Etienne for what it's worth. Nate Frazier as well. Nate Frazier caught that nice little touchdown pass in the All-American game too. So we see his potential there too. So I think you're getting a lot better out of the backfield catching the ball, if you will. Receivers, TBD, right? I want to see what happens with Ladd McConkey not there as a security blanket because now it's on those guys to step up and make, and you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have Carson Beck, and I think that's going to be the X factor there for those receivers. Harry Leggy says dog's outlook for 24 is college football playoffs, and you can't tell me anything else. I'm talking national title game. I'm not talking about just the playoffs. We know we're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, we already know that. Y'all done added the 12 team. Y'all told us that, man, look, bro. We play Texas. We play Bama.
I'm gonna be can't sleep on Ole Miss either right now. In the Grove.
I think I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. I think Ole Miss makes the playoffs as well. I'm not.
I think so too. You know what though, with their schedule, and we're going to talk about this is another topic we're going to discuss. Ole Miss and Missouri, even though we don't play them, both teams have a shot to make it.
They do.
Serious shot.
Now,
I think Ole Miss has got a little bit more of a tougher schedule than Missouri. I think Missouri has one of the easiest schedules in the SEC.
Now, I
Outside
will.
of Texas, I think Texas got an easy schedule outside of us. Think about it. Outside of us and Oklahoma, they have A&M as their best schedule. It's not saying much.
Now, I will say
So
this. Um, I think we all need to pay attention to what's going on over there. I'm not saying just stare at it, but keep an eye out for LSU this year. Them grabbing Missouri's defensive coordinator and adding him over there.
Blake Baker pick
Yeah,
up. Yeah, I think that'd be
yeah. I
interesting to
mean,
see. I just think it's a personnel thing too. Well, LSU's always got the personnel. It's like I feel like you look back at LSU and the fact that they had Harold Perkins coverage and not rushing the passer was the downfall from the start. Like not misusing the personnel it's just a downfall. That's just
no,
my
I get
thought.
that. Yeah, I do think that they're going to be better with it, especially with
Well,
Baker over there.
I mean, we saw Missouri's pass rush and their defensive line play. Right.
Hmm.
I think the question with LSU is right. Their overall defense was just trash. So I think it could be something something as small as the coaching change. Well, it's not necessarily small. It's not like an overhaul type situation. I think the personnel's fine. I think you just got to sit there and deal with the coaching change. I think Blake Baker brings in that fusion or the infusion. Yeah, I mean, and Harry says that he agrees that Perkins was neutered, dude. I mean, his freshman year he was absolutely insane, and then this past season he becomes a shell of himself because you put
Hmm.
him out of his comfort zone and you force him to be a coverage linebacker, a la Will Anderson with Pete Golding. It just made no sense. Now I understand long term you're trying to get him developed and things like that, and that's okay. But dude, while you're in college, like NFL looks at pass rushers almost more than a coverage guy at this point. You got to do both. But I think they can. I think you sit there and you get to the rush the passer, they'll want that more than the coverage because they can teach you
Oh,
how to cover.
100%.
The
Oh, 100%.
getting after the quarterback and getting to the quarterback is a skill that not many people truly have elite possession over skill. So that's just my thought. I mean, Harry says Mizzou will be okay. Drinks built well. Yeah, I mean, I think they're fine. I do think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think their schedule is more favorable, so it allows for these kind of things. Um, we'll see. I mean, they are losing. Rick Straw and Abrams Drain, which is a big deal out of their secondary. Big deal. But we'll see what happens. They've been getting some guys out of the portal. I think some go make some impacts. But we're going to keep that SEC talk later. We'll have our own show dedicated for that. Keon, any final thoughts on these portal additions and what they look for? What expectations we have early for 2024?
I'm excited to have all of y'all here. Um, I'm not gonna lie. All of y'all are about to make plays. And we're gonna go to postseason, we're gonna do what we do. One thing I just wish that all of the transfer, all of the portal guys that we got, I hope all of y'all go off against Florida. Every last one of y'all.
I mean, I would love to see you go Humphreys and just wax that ass at home. Just go
No,
crazy.
because I'm gonna be there at the cocktail party. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna miss out on the possibility of Etienne scoring a touchdown and in the end zone gator chomping. I mean that's gonna be magnificent. And I
I'm
gotta
just
witness
saying.
that.
You realize, and we're going to end on this. You realize that Kirby's petty enough that if we get in the red zone, he's going to give it to ETN.
Etienne, there's
He's
no other
going to give
option.
it or throw it to Colbie. Miami to Florida combination.
Mm, mm,
it,
mm.
it obviously it would be way better if ETN, but why not both, Kirby? You listen. I'm planting the seeds right now, Kirby. I know you listen to the show. We
Right.
know. We know.
We know it.
Do us a favor. Game plan 2 touchdowns. Because listen, it's going to be more than 2 touchdowns because Florida is straight trash. they've got more titles on their coaching staff than they're ever going to see points this upcoming season. Just going to leave that there. But make it happen. Start it off right. Do a little screen route. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you how to do this. Design a tunnel screen to Colbie, and maybe in the red zone or so. And then it don't even have to be next drive. It could be later on, but make sure after that Etienne takes one. I ain't even going to say as long as he scores, preferably Bobo hit that home run. I want to see that. I want to see that speed used against the Gators. I'm calling my shot. Kirby, you heard it here. Bobo, listen, we're going to have to get Juan in the building. All right, Juan's got to go up to Athens, so we're going to have him talk to Bobo about this.
Yeah, he got to send a message to the big boss.
I mean, Juan's got it like that, folks. He can make some moves. We'll get Juan to plant a little birdie, right? Just what'll happen. I'm telling you right now, if it happens, just what I called out right there, guys. I just want to let y'all know that show after the cocktail party is going to be fucking nuts.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because you're going to hear this for months leading up to that, months. But yeah, no. Other than that, though, guys, we really hope that the portal additions are enjoying Athens. You just started classes, by the way, and obviously with the holidays and stuff too. All the new kids on the block are, here now. So it's about time for the winter workouts. I need Colbie in here. Need the Swolders next time we talked about them winter workouts when they start. That's going to be interesting stuff. It's going to be some interesting stuff. Other than that, Keon, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Guys, make sure tune in normal time tomorrow, 9:30. At 9:30. Yep. Before you leave, hold on. Hey, focus. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Ring that bell, by the way. That way you get notified when we go live.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. If you love us, let us know. If you don't love us, let us know. Right. We want to hear it. Not really, but
I will. I'll gladly take it.
Yeah. No, they'll be like,
I'll stand on business. Stand on business.
Fuck you. Don't give a shit about the dogs. Yeah.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the dogs.
I'm trying to tell you.
Well, you gotta be careful. Don't want to be stealing shit over here. Don't want to be getting accused like Connor Stallions.
Gotta be on the lookout. Gotta be on the lookout for that one.
Slow down, baby. Michigan, the season's over, man. Like, why you need to be stealing shit now? Like, calm down.
How much memory does that shit hold? Jesus, the whole season?
3.
Damn.
But anyways, that's all we got for the night, folks. Make sure, like I said, like, follow, subscribe, rate, and review on the show. Guys, might even Keon, what do you think if we moved this and added Twitter/X as one of our live platforms? What do you think?
I would love that. Let's make it happen.
You think so? Let's do that. Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to try to see what happens. So you catch us on YouTube. I obviously preferred YouTube, in my opinion. But if you're on X or Twitter, tune in. Simple as that. With that being said, have a great night. And go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Let's go.